Action in the working week. When the week has begun, you will find yourself in the street view. The first thing to do is to monitor one of your gang members. The person you will use for this is Sarah Flood, the lieutenant that was given the bomb order. Click on the button to switch to the rooftop view using the Go to Street order. Your next objective is to give a simple Go to order. Using the street orders can be used at any time during the week, although typically it will be to move patrols to intercept intruders, or to instruct hoods to follow a character. You will now give a Go to order, useful for moving patrols or guards to places of combat. Use Dion Murphy for this action. Both he and Fidel Costa will be approaching the bridge to which they were sent by the time Sarah Flood has bombed Eno Colburn's store. The two hoods will soon arrive at the bridge. When they do so, they will start to look around, keeping watch for enemy activities and hoods. You are now going to select Murphy to the major road junction directly south of where he and Costa are currently standing. This is where you are going to send Murphy. This point is well within the territory of the Green Gang, and will consequently allow us to keep an eye open for enemy hoods. You will see that when you have selected the destination, the orders box disappears and the mouse pointer returns to normal. Murphy will start to walk towards the junction. When Murphy arrives, he will stand at the corner. A hand will be visible beneath him. This shows that he is waiting for your next instruction. Soon after Murphy arrives, you will hear a ringing noise and a button will flash at the end the icon bar. This marks the arrival of a message. The message box is used to store and relay messages concerning events that are taking place in the city as they happen. Older events are also stored, but these are pushed out as the message box overflows. This opens the message box at the reports of enemy gangsters, police and the FBI agents that have been seen. The message states that Murphy has spotted an enemy gang member. The buttons at the top of the message box allow you to choose the messages that you wish to receive. The buttons at the bottom of the message box are used for scrolling backwards and forwards through the messages and viewing or disposing of a particular message. This action will center the view on Murphy. Nearby, you will find a person with either a green or an orange marker around their feet. This will be a member of the Green Gang or the Orange Gang accordingly. Now that you have found a member of an opposing gang, you are going to attempt to kill them with another street order. Combat orders during the week are given in much the same way as the Go to order was. The only difference is that a person rather than a place becomes the target. You can use this order with the game still paused. As you become familiar with this action, you will probably give the command whilst the game is still running. Click on Murphy. The mouse pointer will now change to show that a kill order has been selected. Click on the center button in the Green Gang members tagged window. Murphy will now start to move towards the enemy hood. Once he is in range, he will open fire. Murphy is a first-rate shot and is carrying a Tommy gun. The enemy gang member does not stand a chance against a hood of Murphy's quality and will soon fall to the floor, dead. Having completed the order, Murphy will immediately vacate the area before any police arrive. When he has traveled a small distance, he will return to the site, pretending to be an innocent bystander. Using a Go to order, send Murphy back to the bridge where Costa is positioned. When the working week has completed, the tutorial will finish. The game will drop back out to the tutorial screen. The gang organizer is the first screen you will see at the start of the game, once you have set all the game options and launched the game. You will also see the gang organizer following each working week. The lieutenant section is probably the most important part of the gang organizer. This is where you organize your hoods into teams, distribute weapons and vehicles, and give the majority of orders to expand your empire and dominate the opposition. When you first access the lieutenant section, the left side of the screen will contain the details of the lieutenant, whilst the right side will contain the city map. The team details panel. The team details panel is where the lieutenants and their teams are displayed. The resource details panel. The resource details panel is where information concerning the city and your gang are displayed. At differing stages of the lieutenant section, the resource details panel can have either of the following functions. The reports panel. The reports panel displays the reports available from your lieutenants. The name of the lieutenant's team. Above the lieutenant's face, you will see the name of the lieutenant's team. This is usually derived from the first name of the lieutenant. To change a team name, the lieutenants themselves are always shown at the top of the team details panel with their name and a portrait. The other details and options shown are the name of the lieutenant's team summary, the lieutenant's pay demand, the amount of money that you are actually paying them, the lieutenant's time indicator, a button to sack the lieutenant, a button to have the lieutenant killed, a button to demote the lieutenant, a toggle button to switch between viewing the lieutenant's team at the bottom of the team details panel and viewing the lieutenant's skills, a button to edit the lieutenant's pay. The lieutenant's pay demand. The lieutenants, like all other members of your gang, always display the amount of money they want to be paid above their current pay. If this value becomes appreciably higher than the amount you are paying the lieutenant, their name and their pay amounts will turn red. Once this happens, you must take action before they consider deserting. See the paragraph on the lieutenant's pay below. The lieutenant's actual pay. The lieutenant's actual pay is the amount of money that you are actually paying your lieutenant. If this value becomes appreciably lower than the amount the lieutenant wants as shown by their pay demand, their name and their pay amounts will turn red. Once this happens, you must take action before they consider deserting. See the paragraph on the lieutenant's pay below. Sack lieutenant results in the lieutenant being thrown out of the gang and back onto the streets. The character soon becomes available for recruitment again, although they will be openly hostile towards you and will be more than happy to work for another gang. Sacking a lieutenant places all the hoods from their team back into the hoods pool. Please refer to resources on page 63. Kill lieutenant results in your lieutenant being murdered immediately. Killing a lieutenant will not be investigated by the police, but will cause your other lieutenants to become more upset with you and they will increase their pay demands accordingly. You should only consider killing lieutenants that are openly hostile towards you or are skimming large amounts of money from your profits for themselves. Their punishment will serve as an example to others, reducing skimming and the neglecting of orders. Demote lieutenant places a lieutenant and his or her team back into the pool. This may become necessary when you reorganize your teams. The lieutenant will however become more hostile towards you unless you reinstate them as a lieutenant before you launch the next working week. Refusing a pay increase leads to an increase in hostility and a reduction in loyalty. Eventually, your gang members will leave if you do not pay them enough. You have been warned. Each team can contain up to 10 people, including the lieutenant. Lieutenant's team. Attributes. Lieutenant's team. Attribute swaps the piece of paper at the bottom of the team details panel between showing the names of the hoods in the lieutenant's team and a list of the lieutenant's skills once the hoods' names are displayed. Click on the name of any hood to view their details. The hood's name and face appear, along with a full list of details. If any member of the team has been kidnapped or arrested, they are shown as a person tied to a chair or a face behind bars respectively. The buttons below the hood allow the following actions to be carried out on the character. Send hood to pool. Sack hood. Kill hood. Promote hood. Hood's pay. Hint: decreasing their pay will make your lieutenants very unhappy. Allocating hoods, weapons and vehicles. As you get further into the game, you will find that you need to allocate more people, weapons and vehicles to your lieutenants. These will enable the individuals and teams to perform more orders, fight more effectively and travel to and from places a lot faster. You do not need to give weapons or vehicles to individual hoods. Since the lieutenant knows who will be carrying out what orders, it is he or she that can best distribute the equipment. Hint: until you can afford weapons for everyone, try to ensure that firearms are at least carried by as many of your hoods as possible. Prioritize their activities and only give the more powerful weapons to hoods that are facing the greater risks. Allocating such resources to your lieutenants can be achieved using the 3 resource buttons. These are located at the bottom of the reports panel when it is being used as either the orders panel or the reports panel. For further details on the purchase and allocation of resources, please refer to the section on resources on page 63. Giving orders to your lieutenants. The lieutenants have the most extensive range of orders of any character. In Gangsters, you need only give the lieutenants your orders. They will take care of how the orders are dealt with amongst their teams. To give an order to any lieutenant, they must be the selected character. 1. Business orders. The business orders are concerned with financial issues. 2. Personnel orders. The personnel orders include commands to increase security, explore and general movement. 3. Minor crimes. The minor crimes are actions that are not so serious. They can be violent, but are generally aimed at manipulating people and places, without causing excessive damage or injury. 4. Violent crimes. The violent crimes are the extreme measures. These are all aimed directly at places or people. The buttons for the clipboard and the resources are also still available at the bottom. Hint: as a guideline, one hood can extort or intimidate between 2 and 3 blocks each week, whilst a hood collecting protection can visit around 8 blocks in a week. Recruit can vary wildly, since sites suitable for recruitment can be evenly spaced, densely packed or widely spread. Note: if you give an order to attack an enemy gang member whose position is unknown to you, your hoods will still attempt to complete the order. They will travel around the pool halls and gyms, visiting unattached hoods and asking for information about the location of their target. The more intelligent and intimidating your hoods are, the more accurate the information they will receive and the faster they will be able to hunt down the intended victim. Hint: when you are giving orders that do not consume the whole week, try to leave the lieutenants with a small amount of time to cover events such as police presence, combat and heavy traffic. Leave a little time as a buffer for the activities of your hoods. Personnel orders. 1. Guard business. Guard business is used for securing your own sites. The hood travels to the site and remains for the week. Hint: the closer the site to one of your offices, the quicker the hood will get there. A hood guarding the front to an illegal business can guard both the front and the illegal business, since any attackers will have to get past the hood to get at the illegal business. 2. Patrol. The patrol order is used to instruct hoods to secure any area selected within your territory. They will walk or drive around the designated area, looking out for intruders. 3. Explore. The explore order sends a hood out to investigate an area that you select. Successful explorations result in the full details of all businesses visited being found out, and illegal businesses also run the risk of discovery. Stealth is the important factor for the hood performing this task. 4. Recruit. Recruit is one of the most important orders. You should always be on the lookout for more and better quality hoods, available from gyms, pool halls, the docks and the labor exchange. Accountants are recruited from accountancy businesses and the main bank, and lawyers from the law companies and the courthouse. Known hoods can also be recruited from other gangs. The key skill for this task is intelligence, since the hood must be able to convince the person of the value of joining your gang. Hint: recruiting known hoods from other gangs can be extremely risky. Your hood will first have to find them and then persuade them to join. This often involves traveling into enemy territory and may result in the death of your hood if the target refuses to join. Make sure the hood you want is worth it. 5. Go-to is useful when you wish to secure a particular spot, or just to send some hoods to where they might become useful. The hoods will head for the closest point on the pavement to where you select and will not move from the spot unless you tell them otherwise. This is also useful for positioning a fixed lookout. Minor crimes are actions that are not so serious. They can be violent, but are generally aimed at manipulating people in places without causing excessive damage or injury. Except for raids, they are generally overlooked by the police. 1. Bribe. Hoods can bribe citizens, business owners, the press and the clergy. This action is a useful way to bend people to your will, but requires a reasonably intelligent hood to be able to persuade the person to take the money. 2. Intimidate. You should only need to intimidate the people of the city when they go against your wishes. People who refuse to pay protection, witnesses and jurors are all worthy targets of intimidation, which is obviously the key skill required here. If this order fails, further steps may need to be taken. 3. Extort. The extort command is the first process in establishing a protection racket. Businesses are visited by your hoods and persuaded to pay a weekly amount of their income in return for your protection. The hoods performing this order need to be good at intimidation, or you run the risk of the people refusing and possibly even telling the police. Hint: the further away from your base you try to extort, the more likely people are to reject your attempts. 4. Raid. The raid command should only be given to hoods that have good levels of stealth. A raid is a higher profile crime than the protection racket, but can bring in more money at an early stage of the game. Raiding sites with trucks can also result in goods being stolen from the target location. These goods are brought back to your warehouses if you have any, and are either distributed amongst the businesses that can utilize them or kept in storage for export. Some sites, once raided, will suddenly obtain a police guard. Hint: be selective about the sites that you raid. You cannot hope to steal much money from a pawnbroker. Order options. Although you can confirm the order as it stands, there are a number of options that can apply to some or all orders. These allow you to define features of the order, such as who goes on the order and how important the order is. Note: these options must all be set before the order is confirmed. The options available are as follows. 1. Special order options. 2. Priority. 3. Manpower. 4. Weight. Hint: orders performed publicly affect a larger area than those performed privately. This can result in a larger area suddenly becoming more friendly, but can also lead to more witnesses of the crime. The priority button allows you to define how important the order is. Setting priority makes the task more important. People given a priority order are more likely to avoid combat unless they are fired on first, and are also more likely to ignore the police and the FBI in their efforts to get the order done. 3. Manpower. The manpower button allows you to state how many people you wish to perform an order. Increased manpower comes in most useful when you are giving area orders such as collect, protection and extort, performing orders in another gang's territory, or when securing your own area. 4. Wait. The wait button is used for orders where you want the hoods to inform you they are about to start on the task. The hoods will wait until you instruct them to continue, using the wait, continue button in the tagged windows. Avoid using wait too frequently. This can not only waste your hood's valuable time, but events can leave you with a large part of your team doing nothing whilst you take care of other issues. Selecting preferred people for orders. It is possible for you to select specific hoods for orders. This is useful if you want hoods to attempt tasks for which they would not normally be selected. As with normal orders, you can set the manpower above 1, although you have no control over whom the hood takes with them. Hint: try to avoid giving too many orders with preferred people. Each time hoods are allocated in this way, the lieutenant removes them from the list of hoods available for other tasks. The lieutenants have the largest number of orders of any character, and these are divided into 4 groups: business orders, personnel orders, minor crimes, violent crimes. Business orders you have: 1. Buy premises. 2. Set up business. 3. Run business. 4. Collect protection money from extorted businesses. 5. Adjust protection money levels in protected businesses. 6. Export goods held in a warehouse. 7. Donate money to charity. Hint: try to set up an illegal business that is similar in operation to the legal business that will be the front. The more similar they are in their operation or produce, the less likely the FBI are to find the site. Be selective about the places you buy. Not all legal sites can cover the cost of even just the hood's wage. Try to establish illegal businesses that more than cover their own costs, plus the costs of the front. One. Buy premises. Buy premises allows you to buy any empty land, warehouse, commercial business, industrial block or tenement block within 2 blocks of your territory. The lieutenant who receives the order always sends his or her most suitable hood to run a purchased business. This character will be the hood with the best levels of organization and business skills. In order to start establishing illegal businesses, empty land must first be bought at the center of blocks. This in turn can only be bought when you have purchased either a legal business on the block to serve as the front, or have set up a legal business on some empty land around the edge of the block. An increase in violent activities can lead to lower land values and businesses being cheaper to buy. A cessation of violence, once you have bought the site, will lead to a gradual pickup in trade and therefore profit. 2. Set up business. Once you have bought some empty land, the set up business order allows you to open nearly any type of business in the location. There is obviously a time and a cost attached, which you are asked to confirm. Once established, the site will automatically open. As with buy premises, the lieutenant sends the most appropriate hood to run the site. Illegal businesses can only be set up in the center location of commercial or tenement blocks. To set up an illegal business, you must own both the center location and at least one legal business on the block. If you are attempting to set up an illegal business, you will be asked to nominate a legal business on the block as the front for the illegal business. The front allows access to the illegal site, and also shields the business from the attentions of the FBI. Hint: try to set up an illegal business that is similar in operation to the legal business that will be the front. The more similar they are in their operation or produce, the less likely the FBI are to find the site. Be selective about the places you buy. Not all legal sites can cover the cost of even just the hood's wage. Try to establish illegal businesses that more than cover their own costs, plus the costs of the front. 3. Run business. Instructing a hood to run the business can be used to place and replace hoods. The lieutenant always picks the best hood for the business and sends them there. Any hood already running the business will return to your headquarters. 4. Collect protection. The order to collect protection money instructs your lieutenant to send out hoods to the protected businesses. These hoods visit the sites and pick up the protection money from the business owners. Collect protection requires no special skills and so is a useful task to give to cheap, poor quality hoods. Occasionally, business owners may refuse to pay. You will need to take action promptly against these people, or they may drop out of the racket altogether, or squeal to the police. Hint: the protection racket is a highly effective way of both expanding your empire and making large quantities of money quickly. 5. Adjust protection. Adjust protection allows you to increase or decrease the amount of money your hoods squeeze from the business owners. You can select an area or an individual site to adjust. You can change the protection between 0 and double the normal amount that is extorted when the site first joins the protection racket. The final level set is that which will be used when the working week is launched. Increasing and lowering the protection levels of protected businesses affects the hostility of the owner. If you attempt to extort an excessive amount, they may refuse to pay and may even squeal to the police. 6. Export. The export order allows you to dispose of surplus goods in your warehouses. The money you obtain is dependent on the total exported and requires hoods to move the goods out to the railroad terminal or the docks. For details of warehouses and goods, please refer to goods on page 67. 7. Donate. Donate commands the lieutenant to take an amount of money to the orphanage or church that you select. The amount of money to take is calculated from the squalor of the area local to the receiving charity. The poorer the area, the less money is required for the people to sing your praises. Donations can make areas easier to take over.
Yeah. There's a war outside. Allocating hoods, weapon and vehicles. By order, business order, personal order, minor crimes, violence crime, right? Give order to your lieutenants. Right. Lieutenant orders. Business order, personal crime, alright. Business order, like set up, yeah, right, run business, right. Collect, adjust protection, wow. Oh shit, let me read that.
Set up business. Once you have bought some empty land, the set up business order allows you to open nearly any type of business in the location. There is obviously a time and a cost attached, which you are asked to confirm. Once established, the site will automatically open. As with buy premises, the lieutenant sends the most appropriate hood to run the site. Illegal businesses can only be set up in the center location of commercial or tenement blocks. To set up an illegal business, you must own both the center location and at least one legal business on the block. If you are attempting to set up an illegal business, you will be asked to nominate a legal business on the block as the front for the illegal business. The front allows access to the illegal site, and also shields the business from the attentions of the FBI. Hint: try to set up an illegal business that is similar in operation to the legal business that will be the front. The more similar they are in their operation or produce, the less likely the FBI are to find the site. Be selective about the places you buy. Not all legal sites can cover the cost of even just the hood's wage. Try to establish illegal businesses that more than cover their own costs, plus the costs of the front. The order to collect protection money instructs your lieutenant to send out hoods to the protected businesses. These hoods visit the sites and pick up the protection money from the business owners. Collect protection requires no special skills and so is a useful task to give to cheap, poor quality hoods. Occasionally, business owners may refuse to pay. You will need to take action promptly against these people, or they may drop out of the racket altogether, or squeal to the police. Hint: the protection racket is a highly effective way of both expanding your empire and making large quantities of money quickly. Export: the export order allows you to dispose of surplus goods in your warehouses. The money you obtain is dependent on the total exported and requires hoods to move the goods out to the railroad terminal or the docks. For details of warehouses and goods, please refer to goods on page 67. Personnel orders: the personnel orders contain direct commands for your hoods. 1. Guard a particular business for the week. 2. Patrol a part of your territory. 3. Explore an area of the city. 4. Recruit hoods, an accountant or a lawyer. 5. Go to a point and secure it.